Hey, let's master those emotions. Master those emotions and strengthen emotional intelligence. We back at it. Let's keep it real. We got to. We have to. Question. I always like to start off with a question. Now imagine being falsely accused, mocked, and betrayed, yet responding with calm grace and love. Could you do it? Could you do it? And I know it'll be tough, right? I know it will be tough, especially when it's a coworker or a family member, someone you love. But like I asked before, could you respond with grace and love? Jesus did, and he is the example. He shows us what it means to master emotional intelligence, even under pressure. Even under pressure. I mean, emotional intelligence, EI, isn't just about staying calm, it's about aligning your emotions with God's purpose. Now, Jesus showed us that even in the most intense moments, we can stay grounded and reflect God's character. That's where emotional intelligence or EI comes in. So let's just break down some simple but powerful steps to strengthen your EI. So let's start with implementing these practical steps to strengthen that emotional intelligence and understand how these steps reflect God's love in our actions, but also how applying these skills every day in our interactions actually enhance the relationships in our lives. Now, staying calm in the chaos. When you look at Luke 23:34, I'm sorry, 23:34, Jesus hung on a cross and he says, Father, forgive them, for they do not know what they are doing. And instead of lashing out, he chose compassion. He already won. He already won. Because when we're under pressure, self-control helps us to respond thoughtfully rather than just reacting destructively. And we also see empathy in action, right? When Jesus, we talked about this in a previous video where Jesus was at the well and he meets the Samaritan women. And despite the cultural and societal divides, one thing I know about Jesus, he always goes against the grain. He was going against the grain at this present time by engaging somebody that in their day and time was actually beneath them. And so he engaged with her story, offering her hope and transformation. And so in your daily life, how often do you truly listen before jumping to a conclusion or judgment? Do you have a conscious response over a reactive one? I mean, when we react, when we just have like a reactive decisions, those decisions are based on fleeting emotions like anger or fear. And Jesus consistently responded with intentionality rooted in prayer and in his mission. Neuroscience shows that being able just to take even 6 seconds to pause allows our brains to calm down from this irrational place of destructive and I don't know, fury, right? But it allows us to get to a place where now we could be rational and we can actually engage properly instead of being in this reactive state where we're in fight or flight. I know I've been there a time or two, but when we practice active listening, man, and I'm not just talking about nodding while zoning out. We that's I've been there too. Just you're probably just in another place mentally already. You might be tired or this person just isn't engaging you the way you would like, or you just have so much other stuff just going on. We just begin to zone out. I'm guilty of that. I'm guilty of that. But I mean, giving someone your full attention, your full attention and and making them feel truly heard and valued. And you just think about it. Jesus did this with the Samaritan woman. He didn't interrupt or lecture her. He just listened. And that's what opened the door to the transformation. I mean, the next time someone tries to talk to you or is talking with you, pause and make eye contact. Resist the urge to interrupt. You'll be amazed at how much it actually strengthens the connection. Another thing, handle conflict with care. I know this is one of those tough ones, but here's the truth. Conflict doesn't have to be destructive. It can be a chance to grow. Instead of reacting emotionally, respond with kindness and directness. And go back to Luke 23:24, or I'm sorry, 23:30. I don't know why I keep saying 23:24. 23:34, when Jesus was falsely accused, humiliated, and crucified. But instead of snapping, he prayed, Father, forgive them. That's what emotional intelligence is in action. I have a quick story. I had a coworker who was just like constantly interrupting me during meetings. Um, just when I was like, talking, right? And it didn't even have to be a meeting. It was just, but instead of letting my frustration build, I calmly addressed it. And I was like, hey, I feel unheard because I'm always being interrupted. Can we find a moment to, just work on this better type of thing, right? And, they apologized and they adjusted. And I was like, boom, here we go. Conflict resolved, trust built. Another thing, when we celebrate someone's growth, when you see someone showing resilience or faith, tell them Jesus did this with in Mark 5:34, when he told the woman she was healed by her faith, go in peace. A simple word of encouragement can transform someone's day or even their life. Consider personal conflict, maybe an argument with a friend or family member, and reflect on how you responded. Did you pause to assess, or did emotions take over? How might you have handled it differently if you had paused and asked, what would Jesus do? This is what you're going to do this week. Reflect on how Jesus used empathy and self-control to build connections and handle adversity. And apply these principles to stay calm and conscious in your daily decisions. And emulate Jesus by staying calm under pressure, whether it's a frustrating situation at work or a tense family moment. Practice pausing, praying, and responding with grace. Remember, the goal isn't perfection, it's progress. So when you strengthen your EI, you're not just improving your life, you're creating space for God's love to shine through you. So which step will you take first? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to share this message with someone you love. Glad you guys tuned in. This is D Wells. Why not you? I'm out. Subscribe. I'll see y'all in the next video.